Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a few different ways to troubleshoot your Epson printer and pretty much to show you how to fix your Epson Ecotank printer in the event that it's pretty much just not printing or you're just consistently coming across errors that are preventing it from doing its main task, which is printing. So I'm just going to take you through a small list of things to go through, things to check, and hopefully should you go through all of these troubleshooting steps, eventually you'll probably find the root cause to your issue or hopefully solve it. So let's get straight into the first one, which is to look inside the printer for any jams. Now, one thing I do want to preface before this is that for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm using an Ecotank ET 2860. However, this works on pretty much every Epson Ecotank, I'd say. They run with the same software, they use the same app. So the things I'm going to show you later with the app still apply, and they're just very similar in build. Some of them are pretty much literally look exactly the same. I know the 2400 series look the same. The only differences can be combinations of buttons, but I will account for those later. So yeah, let's first actually go through our initial step of troubleshooting. Now, you're going to want to look on the panel for any abnormal lights. Usually, these mean something, and you should be able to tell by it what the error is. So, for instance, if you are not able to connect to your printer and these two are flashing, it means you are not connected to your printer's Wi-Fi. So you need to ensure that your printer's Wi-Fi is turned on, and then that can be achieved by pressing this button. If it's continually cycling between the two, then it could actually be in setup mode. So you could go directly into the app and try and reset up the printer, which I think is a very easy way to clear a lot of the issues. The next and quite basic thing to do is to actually just have a look to see if you have enough ink. And you have 4 tanks in here, which is why it's called an eco tank. And you should see if they're refilled. Now this one is actually filled to the brim, which is why you can see that there is quite a bit of ink in there. It looks almost empty because it's so full. Make sure they're all closed, so maybe they're slightly pressurized, I don't really know, probably not. And so make sure you have ink. That's a very important factor. That can be why your printer is not printing correctly. The next thing is to make sure that your paper is inserted correctly into the printer. Now, this paper needs to essentially sit on this backrest over there, and essentially, should your paper guides not be too tight on the paper, your paper should essentially be able to be almost held in place by gravity. And you can see once about a third is on the inside, the paper sits quite nicely. And this is A4 paper. I believe Americans, that's 8 by 12 for you, I'm not too sure. But yeah, that sits quite nicely. So if your paper is incorrectly, it should be able to pull the paper out when you send a print job. So the next thing to do is to actually look directly inside the printer for any jams. Now, a lot of Epson printers handle this slightly differently. On this printer, well, they all have a front panel of some sorts. On this printer, I'm going to pull the front panel forward and get a first initial look inside. Now, sometimes this printer can jam. I think everyone's experienced a printer jam. However, it is rare, but it does occur where sometimes it doesn't tell you that it's a printer jam. So you may need to go in and investigate yourself. Now, I can get a slight view from here, but I can't really see what's going on. And luckily, with this variant of Ecotank, I'm actually able to lift up the lid and it clicks in place. And I can get a much better look because sometimes paper gets stuck at the top there. To lower this, if you can't find anything, you lift this up and you're going to lower it down to the first stage, and then you're going to lift it up again ever so slightly and it lowers down completely, and you can shut that. Now, let's say your printer is still coming across issues. Well, the next thing to do, and this is provided you have Wi-Fi or somewhat IP address access to your printer through the web browser or app, we're going to have a look on the app and have a look at what advanced settings are available for us to run on this printer, which might fix some issues. So pull the app out, and if your printer is connected, you'll be able to directly click on the device itself, and you'll see you're given a lot of options. So First one is head cleaning. This will clean the print head, and clean the print head will essentially potentially fix any issues. Let's say your printing comes out slightly fuzzy. What that will do is it will clean the print heads, and it could prevent that and stop any leakages. So I recommend running this every now and then anyway. Nozzle check will do something similar. You'll be able to print out a test page, and it will have the guides, and it will let you know what to look for. And if your nozzles need cleaning, your head needs cleaning, or there's any issues with them, then you'll be able to tell from this nozzle check page that gets printed, and you'll be able to action the printer to fix the issue. So I think that's great. Firmware update, of course, everyone really knows what that means. You may need to update the firmware if your printer's not working. I recommend doing this every now and then. And yeah, so that's about that. You can go into the advanced settings and have a look at some of the Wi-Fi setup, but that's a bit advanced. So yeah, that's everything. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I solved your issues. Those are some important troubleshooting steps that I would highly recommend you go through when looking into fixing your Epson Ecotank printer not working. Please look at the rest of my channel. I have a lot of other videos on this printer and related printers, which could assist you and maybe answer some questions that you didn't even know needed answering. So thank you for watching. This is Pat from Pat's Printers, and goodbye.